press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hi everyone, hope you are all doing good and you completed your KCET examinations and I think you have performed very well, maximally you have performed. The question paper was it was simple paper. So today I am here in front of you to discuss the questions pertaining to KCET biology. So let us start one by one, starting with the first question. Okay. So the first question goes like this: the method of directly injecting a sperm into ovum is called assisted reproductive techniques. In the chapter reproductive health, you have come across this question: assisted reproductive techniques. So what are the methods to overcome the infertility? So in this, direct injecting the sperm into the ovum, which is referred as intracytoplasmic sperm injection, that is ICSI. So very simple question. So direct injecting sperm is called intracytoplasmic sperm injection. So a sperm collected from the husband or the male donor will be injected directly into the egg cell or the ovum. That's called ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. So let us see the other options, that is GIFT, GIFT and IVF. So GIFT is gamete intrafallopian transfer. It's a gamete intrafallopian transfer. This is transferring into fallopian tube. And next one is ZIFT, zygote intrafallopian tube fallopian transfer. So that is again zygote into the fallopian tube. So whereas IVF, in vitro fertilization, the sperm and the egg will be collected from the male and female donor, that will be fused under in vitro condition or the laboratory condition. So the direct answer, very simple answer, intracytoplasmic sperm injection, that's C. So next question, match the column 1 with column 2. Match column 1 with column 2. So we can see there in the column 1 there are like 4 options, and column 2 also 4 options are there. So aneuploidy, monoploidy, polyploidy, diploidy. Aneuploidy, monoploidy, polyploidy and diploidy. So you can just if you are like very smart enough, you can just look at the fourth one, that is diploidy. You are very familiar with it, what is diploid set and what is haploid set. So diploid is nothing but 2 set of chromosome. So 2 set of chromosome, one set is from the male donor, the other set is from the female donor, n plus n, 2n. So this is said to be diploidy, 2 set of chromosome. So in the options, entire options, if you look at 4 matching with the 2 set of chromosome. So 4 matching with the 2 set of chromosome, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನೀವು 4 ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು R. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎ ಬಿ ಸಿ ಡಿ ಇದರೆಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲೂ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ 4 ಗೆ R ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ ಮಾತ್ರ. So immediate ಆಗಿ within 5 to 10 seconds you can answer this question. So even let us understand what is aneuploidy, monoploidy and polyploidy, right? So polyploidy refers to more than 2 set of chromosomes, that is more than diploid. So it may be triploid, tetraploid, hexaploid, like that. And monoploidy refers to half set of chromosome. So half set of chromosome, otherwise we can call it as haploid. So there is single set of chromosome, that is referred as monoploidy. And then you have the aneuploidy wherein there may be decrease in number of chromosome or increase in number of chromosome, not whole set. For example, humans alli 46 chromosome ide antandre 47 agbodu, 45 agbodu. Whatever the chromosomal disorders we study, like Turner syndrome, Down syndrome and Klinefelter syndrome, adelladu kuda aneuploidies anta helbodu. Well, so let us move on to next question. Question number 3. The genotype of a husband and wife are IA, IB, that is AB blood group, husband, and IAIO, that is heterozygous A blood group. Among the blood types of their children, how many different genotypes and phenotypes are possible? So there is a AB blood group, husband blood group can be is AB here, and whatever they have given the wife's blood group is heterozygous A. So let us see how this is possible, what may be the different types of genotype and phenotypes possible. So let us see using the checker board. IA, IB, then IA, I. So using checkerboard, immediately we can find out what may be the genotypes and phenotypes. So one possibility is homozygous A blood group in the progeny, and next is IAIB, nothing but AB blood group. This is A blood group, this is AB blood group. Phenotype easily you can say. Then next possibility you have heterozygous. I can just writing H here to represent. It's not technical, but to understand heterozygous, I'm writing H here. Small h. Okay. So then what we have B and so this is again heterozygous B. So if you look at the genotypes, IA is one genotype, IAIB is the second genotype, and heterozygous A blood group, heterozygous B blood group. So this is one genotype, which is A blood group. You can say homozygous A. And then you have IO. This is heterozygous A blood group. And then you have IO. This is again heterozygous B blood group. And of course you have IB. So then this is AB blood group. So we have four different genotypes. If you look at the genotypes, there are four genotypes, and phenotype, nothing but the type of blood group. So you have phenotype A blood group 1, and this is the B blood group, and this one is AB blood group. So you have three phenotypes there. So four genotypes and three phenotypes is the right answer. Move on to next question. What is the possible blood group of children whose parents are heterozygous for A and B blood groups? Heterozygous for A and B blood group, that is IA, IO, IB and IO. So immediately you can think there is all possibility of getting A blood group, B blood group and AB blood group. So let us work out anyway. So what they are saying, heterozygous A and heterozygous B. So heterozygous A blood group and heterozygous B blood group. Now let us see what are the possibilities. So this is IA, IB, that means AB blood group, This is IB-IO. This is heterozygous B blood group. And this is IA-IO. Again, this is heterozygous A blood group. Then we have IO-IO. Nothing but O blood group. So in the options you have, okay, I just missed it. So you have the B options also, A, B, AB and O blood group. So all the blood groups are possible here. AB blood group, A blood group, B blood group and O blood group. Okay. Question number 5. Match the column 1 with column 2. So column 1, again you have 4 options there, and column 2 also 4. The autosomal trisomy, allosomal trisomy, allosomal monosomy and cystic fibrosis. So Mendelian disorders as well as chromosomal disorder concept from the chapter Principles of Inheritance. So first one is the autosomal trisomy, autosomal, somatic chromosome. So what we have 22 pairs of somatic chromosome, 23rd is the allosomal. So which of the following is the autosomal trisomy? So in our syllabus we have studied 3 types of chromosomal disorders. First one is Down syndrome. Klinefelter syndrome. Then Turner syndrome. So ಮೂರು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ. ಒಂದು ಡೌನ್ ಸಿಂಡ್ರೋಮ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ಲೈನ್ಫೆಲ್ಟರ್ ಸಿಂಡ್ರೋಮ್, ದೆನ್ ಟರ್ನರ್ ಸಿಂಡ್ರೋಮ್. So Down syndrome, the chromosomal disorder wherein there will be one extra X chromosome. What we call it as, this is 21st autosomal chromosome. So trisomy of 21st chromosome. So that is 21st chromosome. We have 22 autosomes and one pair of the 23rd pair is the allosome or the sex chromosome. So this is autosomal trisomy. So it is autosomal trisomy. Then what we have Klinefelter. Klinefelter where the XXY, one extra X chromosome. This is allosomal trisomy. Allosomal trisomy. Then what you have Turner syndrome. Here one sex chromosome will be absent. The individual will be having only one X chromosome. That's said to be the Turner syndrome. So as the chromosome is lost here, so this can be referred as monosomy. So this is sex chromosome, hence there is a loss of sex chromosome, that is allosomal. So one chromosome is lost, hence it is monosomy. So referred as allosomal monosomy. Then what we have cystic fibrosis. This is the genetic disorder or the Mendelian disorder. Cystic fibrosis is Mendelian disorder. So autosomal trisomy, option 1 refers to matches with what? Down syndrome, that is 1 with S. Okay, so immediately the first 2 options can be eliminated out. So C and D you have the option. Then allosomal trisomy matches with Klinefelter syndrome, 2 with R. Okay, again, so there is a confusion in C and D. Next let us see the third option, allosomal monosomy, that is Turner syndrome. So Turner syndrome, allosomal monosomy, third matches with P. So obviously the answer should be the D. So option D is the right answer here. Autosomal trisomy, which refers to Down syndrome. Allosomal trisomy refers to Klinefelter syndrome. Allosomal monosomy refers to Turner syndrome. Cystic fibrosis, nothing but the Mendelian disorder. Okay, question number 6. Which among the following characters selected by Mendel in pea plant is a recessive character? So you have the options there. So Mendel, we know that he has selected pea plant for his the genetic work. So there he could select 7 characters, contrast characters. So out of which some are dominant, some are the recessive character. So we have to find out which is the recessive character. ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದರಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಸೆಸಿವ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So the first option, what you have, inflated pod, that is shape of the pod shape. Then second, what they were given, pod color. Pod color. Then flower color. What you have, the flower position. Axillary anta kottidare, the flower position. So these are the 4 characters for which they have mentioned the dominant and recessive characters. You have to find out which is the recessive. So in pod shape, the dominant shape is the inflated or complete inflated, you can say, or full. But whereas the recessive character is constricted. Pod shape is constricted. This is recessive character. And next, pod color. Green is the dominant, yellow is the recessive. Then flower color, violet is dominant, white is recessive. Flower position, axillary is dominant, terminal is recessive. So for these characters, the inflated pod shape, that is dominant, green pod color is also dominant, axillary position of the flower is also dominant. So the recessive character should be white color. Okay, moving on to next question. Match the scientist of column 1 with their contribution in column 2. Column 1 ನಲ್ಲಿ scientist names ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, column 2 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನ್ contribution ಅಥವಾ discoveries ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So what is the first one? The first, Griffith transformation experiment. So very easily you can remember Griffith's transformation experiment. So 1 matches with R there, and then Jacob and Monod gene regulation we have studied. Jacob and Monod, who took the E. coli as a research organism, so wherein they have studied lac-operon for gene regulation concept. Then Messelson and Stahl, semi-conservative method of DNA replication. So DNA replication is semi-conservative. Then Hershey and Chase, who proved ultimately the DNA is the genetic material but not the protein. So 1 ಗೆ R match ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, 1 ಗೆ R, ಮತ್ತೆ 2 ಗೆ P match ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So 1 ಗೆ R ಅಂತ ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಫಸ್ಟ್ 2 ಎಲಿಮಿನೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್, C and D ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಉಳಿಯುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 2 ಗೆ P, that is nothing but lac-operon. Okay, then obviously the 4th option also can be eliminated. So answer should be C. Question number 8. In which region of the tRNA molecule is the amino acid binding site located? 5' end, anticodon loop, 3' end, none of these. Right. So to recall the structure of mRNA, sorry, tRNA. So clover leaf model, what we say, dihydroxyuridine loop, DHU loop, then we have anticodon, T pi C loop, 3' and 5'. So from the options, you have to find out which is the, so tRNA binding site. Okay, the three ends. This is 5' end and this is the 3' end. So anticodon is the one where it will be a site for where it binds to the specific codon, and the 3' is the acceptor arm or the amino acid binding site. Amino acid binding site. So now let us move on to the next question. Question number 9. So 3' end is the answer for this 8th question. Question number 9. E. coli fully labeled with N15 is allowed to grow in N14 medium. The two strands of the DNA molecule of the first generation of bacteria have. So concept from the Michelson and Stahl experiment. So what they are saying, a DNA is completely labeled with the N15. What does it mean? Both the strands are having N15. So this is N15 completely and this is also N15. So now they are cultured under medium N14 medium. So first generation, what happens? The two strands will be separated. First generation, those two strands will be separated and the new strands will be synthesized using N14. So here this parental DNA will be having higher density and this will be having intermediate density compared to both the strands having N14, N14. So let us look at the options there. What are the options? Let me write it. This is N15. This is also N15. This is N14 and N14. So what are the options? Same density and resemble with their parental DNA. Definitely not. Density will be decreased here to the half. Same density but do not resemble with their parent DNA. Again, wrong answer. Different density but do not resemble with their parent DNA. Different density but resemble with their parental DNA. So replication is the synthesis of exact copy of the DNA from the parental DNA. As it is exact copy synthesize ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, duplicate ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. So the option should be same DNA of that of parent but different density. So the answer should be different density but resemble with their parental DNA. Question number 10. Okay. Experiments involving the use of radioactive thymidine to detect a distribution of newly synthesized DNA in chromosome was performed on which plant? Experiments involving the use of radioactive thymidine to detect distribution of newly synthesized DNA in chromosome was performed on which plant? Again, this is the concept of the DNA replication, semi-conservative method. So Messelson-Stahl performed using the heavier isotopes of nitrogen. So one more scientist by name Taylor, he actually performed the semi-conservative replication in order to prove it using radioactive thymidine in plant called Vizia faba. So Vizia faba is the right answer there. Pisum sativum, Cocos nucifera, Antirrhinum. So the options are given. So Vizia faba is the right answer. So wherein the scientist Taylor, using radioactive thymidine in plant Vizia faba, he further proves that DNA replication is semi-conservative. Well, question number 11. The sequence of nucleotides in a template strand of DNA is AT, GC, TT, CC, GAAT, 3' to 5'. Write the sequence in corresponding region of the transcribed mRNA. Transcribed mRNA. So, if the template strand means the DNA strand from which the mRNA is synthesized, so it should be complementary. So, for direction, if you just look at the direction, obviously the last two options will be eliminated. That is 3', 5', 3', 5', that's eliminated. So now what is left out? The A and B. So let us see the complementarity there. So what is the sequence there? Let me write it. The template strand is having AT, GC, TT. AT, GC, TT. Then CC, GAAT. CC, GAAT. This is 5'. So this is template DNA, and after transcription, so mRNA should be in 5', 3' direction always. So what will be the sequences? Adenine, thymidine, uracil in case of DNA. Sorry, thymidine pairs with adenine pairs with thymidine. So instead of thymidine, you have uracil here. Then thymidine, adenine, guanine, cytosine, guanine. Then thymidine, adenine, guanine, cytosine. Then uracil and adenine. So 5', 3', A and B option only. UAC, GAA. So immediately we can click the answer B. So moving on to question number 12. Pneumonia is caused by. The question from the chapter Human Health and Disease. So pneumonia is caused by two different pathogens, that is Streptococcus pneumonia as well as Haemophilus influenza. Simple question. So answer should be both A and B. Okay. Question number 13. The development of quick immune response in a person infected with deadly microbes by administering performed antibodies is called. Again, the question is from the chapter Human Health and Disease. So we have the innate immunity and acquired immunity, active immunity, passive immunity. Innate, acquired, in the sense innate, active, innate, passive, acquired, active, acquired, passive. So all these are different types of the immune systems. So when you introduce performed antibodies, what does that mean? Already antibodies na produce ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. So ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಂಟಿಬಾಡೀಸ್ ನ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಆಂಟಿಬಾಡೀಸ್ ನ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಆಂಟಿಬಾಡೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ರೆಡಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ, ಇಮ್ಯೂನ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಇಮ್ಯೂನ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಆಂಟಿಬಾಡೀಸ್ ನ ನಾವು ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಆಂಟಿಬಾಡೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ನೇಕ್ ಬೈಟ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನಾವು. ಸ್ನೇಕ್ ಬೈಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಆಂಟಿಬಾಡೀಸ್ ಆಂಟಿಡೋಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಇಮ್ಯುನೈಸೇಷನ್ ನಾವು ಪ್ಯಾಸಿವ್ ಇಮ್ಯುನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಆಂಟಿಬಾಡೀಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ because already it is outside the body or the patient or the individual, they are prepared. It's not obviously the cell mediated immunity, it is not innate immunity or inborn immunity, it is passive immunization. So passive immunization is the right answer. Question number 14, which of the most feared property of malignant tumors, which of the following is most feared property of malignant tumors? Same chapter, human health and disease. So we have two types of tumors there, the malignant as well as benign tumor. Benign tumor and malignant tumor. So benign is one which is the word benign refers to kind. It is not lethal or non-hazardous, non-lethal. So why it is non-lethal? Because do not show metastasis. So the cells, cancerous cells do not spread from one part to another part of the body. It's called metastasis. This benign tumor do not show metastasis. So whereas the malignant one, they exhibit metastasis. So the cells can spread from one part of the body to another part of the body. So that's a dangerous part of the malignant tumors. So where we cannot control the spreading of the cells from one part of the infected part to the another one. So neoplasty is not the answer. Rapid invasive growth, it's not invasive. Loss of contact inhibition, that is the property of cancerous cells. So it may be both benign as well as malignant. So metastasis is the right answer. Question number 15. Identify the techniques useful in detecting the cancers of internal organs. So diagnostic methods. So we have CT scanning there, computed tomography, MRI, magnetic resonance of index, then radiography. So all these are the techniques which are actually used to detect the cancer. Answer should be all of these. Question number 16. Which among the following plant is a source of drug which is native to America? So we have different plants mentioned there. Papaver somniferum, poppy plant, what we call it as, and Erythroxylum coca, Cannabis sativa, and Atropa belladonna. So Erythroxylum coca is a plant from which coca alkaloids are extracted, which is native to America. A straight line from textbook, Erythroxylum coca is native to America. Erythroxylum coca, native to America. So it's basically found in America and it is used to produce the drug coca alkaloids. So answer Erythroxylum coca. Question number 17. The technology of biogas production was developed in India due to the efforts of. There are two organizations involved, that is Indian Agriculture Research Institute and Khadi and Village Industries Commission, KVIC, IR and KVIC. So in collaboration with these two, biogas plants has been established in the village sectors or the rural areas. So answer is both A and B. Next question number 18. Which among the following products of microbes is not obtained from fungi? Microbes in human welfare chapter. Under this, the question is which among the following product is microbe is not from the fungi? So options ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು products ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯಾವುದು fungal product ಅಲ್ಲ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ. Okay, we have the options: penicillin, which is a fungi. The next product would have statins. Then Swiss cheese and cyclosporin A. So these are the different products mentioned. Penicillin, we know that it is obtained from Penicillin notatum, which is a fungi, and that too we can say Ascomycetes, belonging to division Ascomycetes. Then statin from Monoscus purpureus. Monoscus purpureus, again this is a fungi, it's a yeast belonging to same Ascomycetes. Then Swiss cheese is produced by using a bacterium called Propionibacterium shermani. Propionibacterium shermani, and this is a bacteria. So Swiss cheese is obtained from bacteria, it's a bacteria. Cyclosporin A, Trichoderma polysporum. Trichoderma polysporum, it's a fungi. It's a fungi belonging to Ditromycetes. So which is not a product of fungi means Swiss cheese, which is prepared by using a bacterium called Propionibacterium shermani. So answer should be Swiss cheese. So moving on to question number 19. Match the following column 1 with column 2. Again you have the products there: cyclosporin A, streptokinase, statin and penicillin in column 1, and the functions are mentioned at the column 2. So we need to write the functions there. So column 1, first you have cyclosporin A. Cyclosporin A, then streptokinase, statin and penicillin. Streptokinase, statin and penicillin. So what are the functions? Cyclosporin A is used as immunosuppressant in graft rejections, immunosuppressants. It is a immunosuppressant. Streptokinase is a clot buster. And statin is cholesterol reducing agent. cholesterol reducing agent, and penicillin is an antibiotic. So in the options you have cyclosporin A. First one should be matched with the C, one with C. So remaining the C and D will be eliminated. Option C and D will be eliminated. Now your choice should be between A and B. So let us see second one, streptokinase, which is the clot buster. So second should be matched with the D. Second, streptokinase, it should be matched with the D. Streptokinase, the cholesterol, sorry, not D, cholesterol, what is that? Clot buster, A. Streptokinase with a clot buster, then statin with the blood cholesterol lowering agent, and then finally penicillin with the antibiotic. So answer should be first one, that is A. The next question, CAC polymerase that finds its application in PCR is obtained from. So PCR is an in vitro method of amplifying the desired gene or the DNA. So PCR is an in vitro method. So there is some procedure where there is a denaturation of the DNA at high temperature, 90 to 92 degrees Celsius. So at this temperature, if you are using the normal polymerase enzyme, it will be inactivated or denatured because of the high temperature. So there must be some heat stable or thermostable enzyme. So in PCR, we use thermostable DNA polymerase. So this thermostable DNA polymerase is obtained from Thermus aquaticus. Thermus aquaticus. It's a thermoacidophile archaebacteria. So which can be resistant to even high temperature, 90 degrees Celsius and above. So this enzyme is obtained from the Thermus aquaticus, hence the enzyme is known as CAC polymerase. It is referred as CAC polymerase. So CAC polymerase that finds application in PCR is obtained from Thermus aquaticus. So answer should be A. Agrobacterium tumefaciens is used as vector. Bacillus thuringiensis, we know it is used to produce insecticide resistant plant. Salmonella typhimurium, which causes the typhoid. So answer is Thermus aquaticus. Question number 21, ROP gene, regulation of the primer, which is important in DNA replication, which codes for protein involved in the replication of the plasmid. PBR322, there's a vector, the artificial vector, plasmid of Bolivar and Rodriguez in E. coli is located at restriction site. So simple, you need to recall the structure of the PBR322 vector. So PBR322, which is based on the plasmid obtained from E. coli. So this consists of origin of replication, then ROP, regulation of primer, and you have the ampicillin resistant gene and the tetracycline resistant gene. So there are certain restriction site located here. PST1, PBU1 restriction site for these enzymes, SAL1, BAMH1, and outside this you have even like EcoR1, then HINT3, Then you have CLA1, and within this regulation of primer, you have PVU to Providentia vulgaris 2. So hint 3 is out of the ROP as well as the antibiotic resistant genes, the marker genes. Even ECOR1 is out of that. PVU2 is the right answer. BAMH1 is the restriction site is within the antibiotic resistant gene tetracycline. So the right answer is PVU2. Okay. Next question number 22. Very familiar question. Rapid antigen test RT-PCR are the two diagnostic tests. Okay. Antigen test as well as RT-PCR are the two diagnostic tests for COVID-19 virus. So PCR stands for what in RT-PCR? So RT-PCR, RT refers to reverse transcriptase PCR. RT refers to reverse transcriptase PCR polymerase chain reaction. As the virus is RNA virus, so now to detect that we are going for reverse transcription. RT-PCR. We have different types of PCR. So in that one of the PCR is RT-PCR, reverse transcriptase PCR polymerase chain reaction. So polymerase chain reaction, polymerase chain reagent, physiological chain reaction, physiological chain reagent. So PCR, very simple question, polymerase chain reaction. Question number 23. Which of the following diagnostic tool allow the detection of very low concentration of bacterium or viruses by amplifying their nucleic acids? By amplifying their nucleic acids. So it's a concept of diagnostic methods, molecular diagnosis. So wherein we use polymerase chain reaction. Question is amplifying and polymerase chain reaction PCR. Other options no need to think of. ELISA, enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. It is also a molecular diagnostic, but it is based on antigen antibody, the specificity. Autoradiography, it's a physical method. RDNA technology is a general technology. It's not a method to detect. So the right answer should be polymerase chain reaction. Question number 24. Silencing of gene could be achieved through the use of. Silencing of gene could be achieved through the use of. So this is one concept what you have studied, like nematode resistance by the RNA silencing or RNA interference. RNA interference. So where the infection of the Melodygani incognitia in tobacco plant is prevented using the technique of silencing RNA or RNA interference. So silencing of gene could be achieved through. So options: short interference RNA, that's called RNA interference, RNAi. Then antisense RNA by both A and B. So actually interfering RNA, RNA interference and antisense RNA. So these are the two methods or the approaches in order to block the expression of the mRNA. That's why we call it as RNA interference or RNA silencing. So silencing can be done using both short interfering RNA and antisense RNA, both A and B. Question number 25. Alpha-1 antitrypsin is an antacid, an enzyme used to treat emphysema, used to treat arthritis. So one of the application of transgenic animal to produce biological products. So alpha-1 antitrypsin is used in treatment of a lung-related disease called emphysema. So this is produced through RDNA technology, antitrypsin. So used to treat emphysema. It's not an antacid. It is not used to treat arthritis. It is not an enzyme. Alpha 1 antitrypsin it's an enzyme, but antitrypsin, it's a protein, antitrypsin. Okay, it is used in treatment of emphysema. Number 26. Identify the correct statements from the following. So there are 4 statements. We need to identify which of the statement is right statement. The first statement, Cuscuta is a chlorophyllous endoparasite. Cuscuta is a parasitic plant. It's not endoparasite. It is a ectoparasite. So first statement is wrong. The human liver fluke needs only one host to complete its life cycle. So liver fluke require 2 hosts, so it's a digenic. And then the third one, the life cycle of endoparasites is more complex due to their extreme specialization. So exactly, the endoparasites has to have, so various adaptations are highly complicated adaptations. So in order to survive in the host cell. During the course of evolution, the host bird's eggs have evolved to resemble the eggs of the parasitic bird. Naturally, parasite andre the one which depends on the other. So that means the one which is going to depend on other has to adapt the other one, in the sense host. So not host will adapt to the parasite. So this is a concept of brood parasitism, where cuckoo bird lays its egg in the nest of the crow. So the cuckoo bird should have an evolution adaptation so that its egg matches with the eggs of the crow. So parasite has to adapt, not the host. So only third statement, endoparasite has more complex due to their extreme specialization. That's the true statement. Let us move on to question number 27. Relate column 1 with column 2 regarding predator behavior. Predator behavior. So in order to escape from predator, there are certain adaptations. What are those adaptations? Calotropis plant. What they given? Physaster. Then monarch butterfly. Then frogs. So what are these adaptations to escape from the predator? So every organism has some adaptations. Some they produce certain chemicals. Some have some the physiological adaptations or mimicry or camouflage, different kinds of concepts. So calotrophies, they produce cardioglycosides, which are harmful to the animals which feed on these plants. Then you have monarch butterfly and frogs. Physaster, invertebrates, has adaptations such as invertebrate. Then monarch butterfly, distasteful. And camouflage, cryptically colored. Frogs are cryptically colored. So Column 1, the first option matching with 1 matches with Calotropis matches with yes, cardioglycosides. Then Pyzaster, Sp, the monarch butterfly, distasteful Q, frogs, critically colored R. So 1 with S, 2 with P, 3 with Q, and 4 with R. So answer should be B. Okay, question number 28. Small mammals and birds are rarely found in polar regions. The reason is that small mammals and birds are rarely found in polar regions. So it's an adaptation again, wherein the organisms adapt to certain cold climatic conditions, or even it may be very high temperature. They show certain adaptations. The organisms with small mammals, the small mammals and birds. So these small mammals and birds, they have a larger surface area, but their body volume is very small. Mammals and birds, we know that they are the homeothermic or warm-blooded animals. They can maintain their own temperature. But the constant body temperature cannot be maintained in polar regions or extreme cold regions. The reason is their body volume is very small, the surface area is larger. The loss of heat is more than the rate of production of the heat from the body volume. So body volume ಎಷ್ಟು ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕಂಗೆ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗೋಗೆ ಹೀಟ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಹೀಟ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಬಟ್ ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಪೋಲಾರ್ ರೀಜನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜನರಲಿ ಕಾಣೋದಿಲ್ಲ. So they have larger surface area related to their body volume. That's the right answer. They tend to gain heat very fast. That's not the true answer. They expend less energy to generate body heat. Not at all the answer. The scientific conceptual answer should be they have larger surface area compared to their body volume. Okay, next one. Identify the incorrect statement. So I have some statements there. Crassulacean acid metabolism plants. Camp plants close their stomata during daytime. That's true. Seals have a thick layer of fat to produce body heat. So they generally found in the cold regions or the polar regions. So in order to protect the loss of heat, they have the thick fat located, we can say blubber-like structure. So in order to reduce the body loss of body heat, thick or fat to reduce body heat. Identify the incorrect statement. Right? Lizards bask in the sun during winter. So that is an adaptation. Tribes living in the high altitude have the same RBCs count as the people living in the plains. So concept of altitude sickness. So where the partial pressure of the oxygen will be reduced at the high altitude. So generally the people living at the higher altitude will be having more number of red blood corpuscles compared to the plain, the individuals who are at the sea level or the plain areas. So identify the incorrect statement. D is the incorrect statements. Question number 30. Population size keeps changing depending on the different factors such as population size keeps changing. So it may be increasing, decreasing. Okay. So what may be the reasons for this? Population size keeps changing. It depends on food availability. Yes, of course. So if the food availability is optimal, population density will be more. If food is not available, definitely density will be less. It may be reduced. Predation pressures. So if there is a introducing predator into an area, the deliberate introduction or natural introduction may be there. So in such cases, the population may be decreased. If the predator is taken out, population may increase. Adverse weather, of course, that may be the Also the reason for changing the population density. So all of the above. So definitely all of the above is the answer. Question number 31. Identify the incorrect statement. Speciation is generally a function of time. Definitely. It's not one day or overnight change or a yearly change. It takes some millions, thousands and millions of years in order to evolve into a species. So species is generally a function of time. That's true. Tropical environment is less seasonal, relatively more constant and predictable. So definitely tropical, the regions. So equator. So these are the tropical regions. So this tropical regions 25° north and south. (25° north and south). So this region is, there is constant environment. There is not almost there will be rainy season, rain throughout the year. So there will not be much fluctuation or seasons in that area, and it is constant and predictable. That's true. Solar energy contributes to high productivity, definitely. Temperate regions have remained relatively undisturbed for millions of years. So next to this we have temperate regions, temperate and polar regions. So these temperate regions are subjected for various distractions. So they are not constantly, they are disturbed and they are changed. So temperate regions have relatively undisturbed is the wrong answer here. So let us see the question. Identify the incorrect statement ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾವುದು incorrect statement? So speciation function of time right ಇದೆ, tropical environment less seasonal right ಇದೆ, solar energy high productivity ಬೇಕು right ಇದೆ. So last statement ಮಾತ್ರ wrong, only 4. That is the C answer. Question number 32. The correct equation depicting the speciation. The correct equation depicting the speciation, that is speciation and area relationship, is species area relationship. The species richness increases as the area increases, but only to the certain level. So this was given by a scientist by name Alexander von Humboldt. Alexander von Humboldt. So it's a relationship where it is given as log S is equal to log C plus Z log A. So where S is species richness, A is area, and Z is regression coefficient. C is y-intercept. So the right answer should be log S is equal to log C plus Z log A. So moving on to next question, question number 33. Match the following one with 2. So column 1, column 2. I think question is related to biodiversity and conservation. So question is like this. Question number 33, column 1. So in this you have 3 and column 2, 3 options are there. We need to match it. Narrow utilitarian argument. Narrow utilitarian argument. What is narrow utilitarian? And then you have broad utilitarian and ethical argument. So narrow utilitarian, the use of biodiversity, the specific the uses such as it is like food, timber, or like medicine or industrial products. So all there are the narrow utilitarian. So broad utilitarian is like in a worldwide. So like the production of oxygen or the aesthetic use. So all these are the broad utilitarian. So every species has an intrinsic value and moral duty to pass our biological legacy in good order to the future generation. So this is and next what you have, conserving biodiversity for major ecosystem service, that is ethical argument. So broad utilitarian and ethical argument. So answer should be here, one matching with P and the second matching with Q, that is broad utilitarian every species has. So not one matching with narrow utilitarian matching with R, receiving benefits like food. So one matching with R. So first and second option can be eliminated because it's not the narrow utilitarian, one matching with P and Q, and then the options are C and D. So you have doubt there. So let us see the second one, broad utilitarian, which matches with the Q. Every species has intrinsic. So answer should be the D or the last one. So that's the right answer. Question number 34. Identify the correct statements about in situ conservation. Identify the correct statement about in situ conservation. So conservation within the natural habitat is called in situ. Outside the natural habitat is referred as ex situ. So conservation in situ, ex situ conservation. Correct statement about the ex situ conservation. Advanced ex situ conservation includes options: cryopreservation of the gametes, plant tissue culture method, and seed bank. So all these are the ex situ methods. So where cryopreservation, we can store the biological material using liquid nitrogen at minus 196 degrees Celsius. Cryopreservation, it refers to use of liquid nitrogen at minus 196 degrees Celsius. Storing seeds is called seed bank. Plant tissue culture method is also ex situ conservation. So some vulnerable species can be propagated by using plant tissue culture. So in vitro fertilization is also a method. So all of these can be the answer 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. The concept of contagium vivum fluidum, infectious fluid, was given by. So who discovered that contagium vivum fluidum? So viruses are infectious fluid. So this was given by scientist by name M.W. Bizarnik. Contagium vivum fluidum. So in the options you have DJ Ivanovsky. He showed that the viruses are filterable. W.M. Stanley showed that the viruses are crystallizable. Bijanic showed that viruses are the infectious fluids or contagium vivum fluidum. R.H. Whitaker, who gave the 5 kingdom classification. The right answer is Bijanic. Identify the odd one out. So you have options there. Which one is odd one out? Ustilago, Alternaria, Collatotrichum, Trichoderma. So this is a tricky question. So where you need to remember the examples from the divisions of fungi. We have Phycomycetes, Ascomycetes, Basidiomycetes, and Deuteromycetes. In Phycomycetes, you have 3 examples: Rhizopus, Albigo, and Mucor. So we can remember using mnemonics as RAM or RAM. Ascomycetes, you have Claviceps, Aspergillus, penicillin, Neurospora, and yeast. So for this you can make a mnemonics as cap NY. You might have seen the symbol on the cap, New York, depicting Claviceps, Aspergillus, penicillin, Neurospora, yeast. Then next you have Basidiomycetes. In this you have Ustilago, Puccinia, and Agaricus. So this you can remember as UPA, United Progressive Association ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. UPA government ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So if you are familiar with that, you can remember Deuteromycetes, Alternaria, Collatotrichum, and Trichoderma. Act. So in options, Alternaria, Trichoderma, Collatotrichum, all are Deuteromycetes, and Ustilago is from Basidiomycetes. So odd is the Ustilago, which is belonging to Basidio. Remaining are all the Deuteromycetes. Okay, next question. The plant body having holdfast, stipe, and frond is a characteristic feature of which one? So presence of holdfast, stipe, and frond is the characteristic feature of the brown algae or the Phaeophyceae. So base is called holdfast, and there is a stalk-like structure called stipe and leaf-like structure frond. So this is found in Phaeophyceae. It's a characteristic of Phaeophyceae or brown algae. So brown algae include sargassum, ectocarpus, laminaria, fucus, dictyota, and kelps. So brown algae nalli 6 examples ಇದೆ. Sargassum, ectocarpus, laminaria, fucus, dictyota, kelps. So ಇದನ್ನು ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ನಿಮೋನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಕರಾಟೆ, SELF DK, self defense karate, sargassum, ectocarpus, laminaria, fucus, dictyota, kelps. So options you have laminaria, Volvox, Gelidium and Porphyra. So laminaria is the brown algae, Volvox is the green algae, Gelidium is the red algae, and Porphyra is also red algae. So answer is laminaria. Okay, next question, question number 38. Identify the correct statements regarding class Aves. So there are certain statements we have to identify which are the correct statements. Forelimbs are modified into wings, hind limbs are modified for walking and swimming. That's right. Heart is completely four-chambered. That's true. Heart is completely four-chambered. They are homeothermal. So like they can maintain the body temperature, warm-blooded, right? They are oviparous and development is direct. Oviparous, development is direct. There is no larvae formation. So all the 4 options are right options. So options only nimage both 1 and 3, both 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, all are correct. So all are correct statements. Epigynous flower is one in which the options you have ovary is superior and other floral parts are inferior. Ovary is inferior, other floral parts are superior. All the floral parts at the same level, none of the above. So epigynous refers to what? So based on position of the ovary with respect to other floral parts such as the sepal, petal and stamen, so we say epigynous. So epi is above, gynoecium. So above the gynoecium. This is the ovary, the sepals, petals and stamens will be above the level of ovary, and this is called inferior ovary. That's nothing but epigynous. Example as in case of guava, cucumber. So options, ovary is superior. No, it's not superior here. Next option, ovary is inferior, below the other parts. Other floral parts are superior. So that's the right answer. Moving on to next question. Question number 40. The following are the type of cell junctions is not found in animal tissue. Which type of junction is not found in animal tissues? So adhering junctions are found, tight junctions are found, gap junctions are found. Loose junction, there is no concept of loose junction. Simple question. Okay, question number 41. A bacterial flagellum is composed of what? So the different structure: filament, hook, basal body, vesicles, tubules, lamellae, pili, fimbriae, filament, hook, tubules and fimbriae. So it consists filament, hook and basal body. So basal body, from centrioles it will be arranged, and there will be hook and there will be filament like structure or the tail like structure. So answer should be A. Question number 42, match the compounds of column 1 with the column 2. So again we have 4 in column 1 and 4 in column 2. So let us see one by one. So in column 1, first is trypsin, and the second component is GLUT4, glucose transferase 4, and then third collagen, fourth is antibody. In the next column, column 2, we have fights infectious agents, is an intercellular ground substance, works as an enzyme, enables glucose transport in cells. So trypsin is an enzyme. This is for glucose transfer. And what do you have? Next one is intercellular ground substance. Collagen is intercellular ground substance. Then antibody fights infectious agents. So one with works as an enzyme R. So this is R. GLUT4 enables glucose transfer. Yes. Then collagen, ground substance. There's an intercellular ground substance Q. Then antibody P. RSQP. 1 R 2 yes 3Q 4P. So answer is D. So moving on to question number 43. The correct sequence events in prophase 1 is right. So prophase 1 of meiosis is a longer, complicated and significant process. Prophase 1. So in which again there are different stages, substages. Leptotin, zygotin, pachytene, diplotin and diakinesis. So each is characterized by event. Here condensation of chromosome. Chromosome start condensing here in leptotin. Zygotin, pairing of homologous chromosome. Pairing of homologous chromosome. So that's referred as synapsis. In case of pachytene, crossing over. So it leads to recombination. Then diplotin. So there will be a dissolution of synaptonemal complex. Dissolution of synaptonemal complex. And diakinesis, the two homologous chromosomes will be separated at the point of chiasmata also. That's called terminalization. So correct sequence is condensation, first is synapsis, then is crossing over, then dissolution of the synaptonemal complex and terminalization. So crossing over, once crossing over is formed, chiasmata is, you can see the chiasmata is clearly visible in the diplotin. You can say chiasmata visible. Chiasmata will be formed during the Pachytene only, but it is clearly visible in the Diplotene. So first is synapses, then is crossing over, then is chiasmata, and last is terminalization. So first option should be the right. Question number 44. The enzyme that is not found in C3 plants is C3 plants. Or Calvin cycle, what we say, we have C3 and C4 plants. So C4 plants where they say Hatch-Lack pathway, so wherein there are two different types of enzymes. The enzyme which fixes atmospheric carbon dioxide into the plant cell is PEP carboxylase in case of C4. So whereas in case of C3 plant, the enzyme which is fixing atmospheric carbon dioxide is Rubisco, RUBP carboxylase, ribulose biphosphate carboxylase. So C3 plants, they don't have PEP carboxylase enzyme. So very simple, you can just analyze. ATP synthase is required in C3, C4 both. RUBP carboxylase is required C3, C4 both. NADP reductase is required in both. PEP carboxylase is required only in C4 plants. That's the primary carbon dioxide fixer. And the acceptor is phosphoenol pyruvate. Now question number 45. Match the location of the cell given in column 1 with the function in column 2. So in column 1 you have the location in the cell. Okay, and then column 2 functions. So what are those location and functions? Mitochondrial matrix. So what will be the event or function here? Mitochondrial matrix, then cytoplasm. Concept is related to aerobic respiration. Then F0, F1. Then inner mitochondrial membrane. So in mitochondrial matrix, what happens in aerobic respiration? That's Krebs cycle, TCA cycle or Krebs cycle. Cytoplasm, glycolysis, and F0, F1 related with ATP synthesis. They're also called as ATP synthase complex. And inner mitochondrial membrane is related with the ETC, electron transport chain or the electron transport system. So answer should be mitochondrial matrix matching with the mitochondrial matrix matching with the Krebs cycle, 1 with P, cytoplasm R, and F0, F1 S. The answer mitochondrial matrix. So Krebs cycle. P, cytoplasm glycolysis R, F0, F1 ATP synthesis S, ETC is at Q, PRSQ, PRSQ. So option should be A. Question number 46. Identify the correct statement or statements. Kinetin is a derivative of adenine, which is a pyrimidine. Of course, kinetin is a derivative of adenine, but it's not a pyrimidine, it's a purine, adenine and guanine. The technique of decapitation is widely used in tea plantations. The heads making what we call, that's the right answer, right statement. Ethylene is a gaseous plant hormone, right statement. Use of GA3 hastens, that means triggers the malting process in brewing industry, right answer. So, which is the incorrect statement? Identify the incorrect statement. Ethylene is a gaseous hormone. In the options you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 3, 1 and 5. Okay, you have the fifth also. ABA is a growth promoter. Abscisic acid is growth inhibitor. So first statement, kinetin derivative of adenine is, but it is not pyrimidine, and ABA is growth inhibitor, not promoter. So 1 and 5, answer should be D. Moving on to next question, question number 47. Calculate the cardiac output of an individual having 70 heartbeats per minute with stroke volume of 55 ml. So cardiac output is calculated as the heartbeats, number of heartbeats into the stroke volume. So 70 to 72, 70 ರಿಂದ 72 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ heartbeats per minute, and stroke volume for every heartbeat 55 ml ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Generally it is up to 70 ml. So now let us calculate 70 into 55. So 70 into 55. So it will be around 3850. Okay, question number 48. In the standard ECG, one of the following function of the components is not correctly interpreted. P is the contraction of only left atria. Only left atria. QRS complex represent ventricular contraction. T is the end of systole, right? P is the contraction of both atria. So during the pumping of the heart, what we say at the heartbeat, both the atrias will be contracted at a time during pumping the blood into ventricles, and both the ventricles will be contracted at a time to pump blood into respective the arteries or the veins. So that can be represented as a electrocardiogram. So we have P, Q, R, S, P, Q, R, S and T. So P represent the contraction of both the atrium, QRS represent contraction of both ventricles, and T is the wave that represent the end of systole. So systole is contraction and diastole is the relaxation. So P wave, P contraction of only atria, that's the wrong statement. So statement A is wrong. Question number 49. Match the hormones of column 1 with its function in column 2. So again 4 options in one, and in the second one you have again 4 options. Catecholamines, melanin stimulating hormone MSH, thymosin, then melatonin. So melatonin It's a hormone which maintains diurnal rhythm. Melanin pigmentation, and thymosin is for immune response. Catecholamine, the stress hormone. So again, the first matching with catecholamine, matching with S, and MSH pigmentation or thymosin is immune response Q, and melatonin diurnal rhythm SRQP. SRQP. So option A is the right answer here. Okay, moving on to next question, question number 50. How many microsporangia are located at the corner of a typical bilobed anther of angiosperm? How many microsporangia? Nothing but how many pollen sacs? Question from the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. The typical bilobed anther will be containing two lobes and four chambers, bilobe and dithecus. It's a tetragonal, what we say. So at each corner there will be microsporangia. So there will be four, there are four corners, four microsporangia. So there will be four microsporangia, nothing but pollen sacs. So this is when the anther is young. When it is diced, so it will be merged. Both will be merged. So in a diced anther, we should say 2. In young anther, it should be 4. Question number 51. In bryophytes and pteridophytes, the number of male gametes produced is several thousand times the number of female gametes produced. That's the assertion. In bryophyte and pteridophytes, the number of male gametes produced is several thousand than that of female gametes. Yes, true. The reason is large number of male gametes fail to reach the female gametes during the transport. So the gametes here are transferred through the water. Generally, when there is a transportation of gametes, most of the male gametes are lost. In order to ensure the continuity of the species or fertilization, many number of gametes are formed, produced, and of course the male gametes are flagellated, hence they have to be transported towards the female gamete. So in order to compensate the loss of gametes, many gametes will be produced. So assertion and reason both are right, correct. Both assertion and reason are correct. That's the B. Question number 52. So there is a diagram given. In the given diagram, identify the parts labeled as A, B, C and D. A, B, C and D. So the diagram represents the monocot embryo, sorry, monocot seed. plumule protected by coleoptile, and radical protected by sheathy covering called coleorhiza. And wall of this maize seed, representing maize seed, is called pericarp. And this is cotyledon. The single cotyledon is called scutellum. So C is pericarp, scutellum, B is scutellum, then A is coleoptile, then D is coleorhiza. So what's the answer here? A is coleoptile, B is scutellum, C is pericarp, C is pericarp, D is coleorhiza. So option A. Next question. Consider the following statements and choose the correct answer from the given options. Consider the following statements and choose the correct answer. Here statement ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಏನಂತ ನೋಡೋಣ. Innermost layer of microsporangium is tapetum. Yes, of course, innermost layer is tapetum. Epidermis, endothelium, middle layers, and tapetum. Next statement 2. Cells of the tapetum possess a dense cytoplasm more than one nucleus and nourishes the developing pollen grains. Exactly right. So the outermost layer of the pollen grain, sorry, anther, not pollen grain, anther. So there will be different walls. Outermost layer is called epidermis, then endothelium, then 3 to 4 middle layers. Innermost is the tapetum, and it is surrounding the pollen mother cells. So tapetum has dense cytoplasm, more than one nucleus, and it nourishes the developing pollen grains. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. Thus B is the answer. Question number 54. Identify the correct statements. Only one megaspore present towards chalazal end remains functional. Only one megaspore present towards chalazal end remains functional. 3 megaspore present towards chalazal end degenerate gradually. Each megaspore mother cell directly develops into megaspore. Then each female gametophyte is 7-celled and 7-nucleated structure. The embryo sac of angiosperm is referred as monosporic or the polygonum type because out of 4 megaspores, only one will be functional, which develops into embryo sac. So in the embryo sac, you have 7 cells, sorry, 8 nuclei and 7 cells. 8 nuclei, 7 cells. The antipodal cells, then egg cells and synergids together as egg apparatus. Here we have 3 cells. Here 3 cells. And this is central cell. So inside 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is polar nuclei, 2 polar nuclei, and we have 3 nuclei from the egg apparatus. So total there will be 8 nuclei and 7 celled. 3 egg apparatus, antipodal cells 3, and 1 central cell. So last statement is wrong. Each megaspore cell directly develops into megaspore. That's also wrong. 3 megaspore present towards the chalazal end degenerate. 3 megaspore present towards the chalazal end degenerate. That's not true. Only one megaspore present towards the chalazal end remains functional. Only one megaspore present towards the chalazal end remains functional. So during megasporogenesis or formation of embryo sac, one of the nuclear cell activated as megaspore mother cell undergo megasporogenesis or meiogenesis to form four haploid cells. Four haploid cells. This is micropyle and this is chalazal end. The three which are present towards the micropylar end degenerate, and one which is present at the chalazal end will be retained. The reason is for this is because this megaspore has to be nourished by the nucleus cells. This megaspore has to be further nourished by the nucleus. So it maintains this megaspore at the center of the embryo sac, not embryo sac, center of the ovule. So that's the reason. So only one megaspore present towards the chalazal end remains functional. That's the right answer. Next question. Which of the following aquatic plant does not show pollination by water? So the pollination may be through biotic factors or abiotic factors. So there are different biotic. Major one is biotic. Next to biotic is abiotic. Again, in abiotic, wind and water. Wind is most common abiotic, whereas water pollination is restricted to only 30 genera of monocotyledons, the two monocotyledons. So not all aquatic plants are water pollinated. Water lidane tachna water indane pollination agodilla. There are several plants which are not pollinated through water, such as water hyacinth and water lily. Water hyacinth and water lily. So though these two are aquatic plants, they are pollinated by wind or insects. Wind or insects. So there are freshwater plants such as Vallisneria and Hydrilla. So these are pollinated through water, and the type of water pollination, hydrophily, is epihydrophily on the surface of water. In case of the marine plants such as Zostera, sea grasses, so it is hypohydrophily inside the water. So the answer should be here. Water hyacinth is not pollinated through water. So which of the female gametophyte is involved? Which of the female gametophyte is involved in the formation of primary endosperm nucleus after fertilization? After fertilization, the primary endosperm nucleus, PEN, is formed by what? A typical angiosperm embryo sac consists 8 nuclei and 7 cells. 8 nuclei and 7 cells. After fertilization, what happens? After fertilization, egg cell is converted into zygote, and remaining the two synergids degenerate. This is after fertilization, degenerate, and these two nuclei will be fused with the male gamete to form triploid nucleus, and these antipodal cells are degenerated. Antipodal cells are degenerated, and the central cell develops into primary endosperm nucleus. Later on, it develops into primary endosperm nucleus. This is primary endosperm cell. Okay, and this develops into endosperm. Central cell is referred as primary endosperm cell. So, which of the following gametophyte is involved in the formation of primary endosperm nucleus? Antipodal, synergids, egg cell, central cell. Central cell is the right answer. Question number 57. In the given diagram of human sperm, identify the functions of the labeled parts of A, B, C. A, B, C. So A is the acrosomal cap, B is the Nebenkern or the mitochondria, and C is the tail part. So let us understand what are the functions. Acrosomal cap, Nebenkern or the mitochondria, and tail. This is A, this is B part, what they mentioned, and this is C. Acrosomal cap helps in penetration of the sperm or the, not sperm, it helps in the fusion or transfer of the male nucleus into the egg cell, helps in the penetration of sperm into ovum. Then Nebenkern, it provides energy as this mitochondria is present. And tail helps in movement. So first option, acrosomal cap, which helps in penetration. So helps in penetration of the sperm, helps in movement of sperm, B, no. Provides energy, no. Helps in penetration, right. Provides energy, movement, right. Helps the movement of sperm, right. So option B is the right answer. The next question number 58. Okay. Select the correct path of flow of milk during the breastfeeding. So how this milk is produced, in which different parts of the breast, and how finally it is released from the mammary gland through the nipple. So here the options: mammary tubules, mammary duct, mammary ampulla, lactiferous duct. No. So the last point at which the milk is released is the lactiferous ducts. So immediately first two options can be eliminated. The last two options, C and D. So where you have alveoli, mammary tubules, right, and then mammary ampulla, right, mammary duct, lactiferous duct. That's the right answer. So in the last one, what we have? Alveoli, mammary tubule, mammary duct. So illi mammary tubule admele mammary ampulla barbeku, adadmele mammary duct, and then lactiferous duct. So option C is the right answer. Okay, next one, question number 59. Under the influence of oxytocin, a birth hormone, which layer of the uterus exhibit strong contraction during the parturition? Fetal ejection reflex, what we say, there are three layers of the uterus. So the perimetrium, perimetrium, myometrium, and endometrium. So myometrium, the middle layer, which is the one which actually contracts. So during the parturition, the layer of uterus which is contracted is myometrium. Okay, now we have reached the last question of the paper. Question number 60. Select the incorrect statement about contraceptives. So contraceptives are the devices or the substances which are used to prevent unwanted pregnancies. So they are regularly required for the maintenance of reproductive health. Question number A, they are required regularly for maintenance of reproductive health. That's the option A. They are required for contraception. Reproductive health, it's not only based on contraceptives or the contraceptive devices. So there are even other the methods what we need to follow. So not just contraceptive, that's not the true statement or the correct statement here. Second statement, let us see, they have a significant role in checking uncontrolled growth of population. So population growth can be controlled by using contraceptive. It may be any type. It may be temporary contraceptive methods or permanent methods such as vasectomy or tubectomy. And then third option, they are practiced against natural reproductive events like conception or pregnancy. That's why they are said to be contraceptives. The possible ill effects like nausea, abdominal pain, irregular menstrual bleeding, or even breast cancer should not be totally ignored. So this is also a point of the reproductive health or contraceptive use of contraceptive may lead to these impacts. So select the incorrect statement about the contraceptive. So the incorrect statement should be they are regularly required for maintenance of reproductive health. So they are not regularly required for the maintenance of reproductive health, hence it is not the right answer. So so that's about the last question for the CET 2021 that for biology paper. So hope you have done your maximally. So most of you performed very well what I have just analyzed, and keep going, keep preparing. Yet the journey is not completed. You have to face even the upcoming examination, that's the NEET examination. So this is the one what you have gone through the main examination. So Sumar Sari you college test bardidira, but you have faced the CET actual CET examination. But now you have to prepare for your NEET examination. So I wish you all the best. Keep preparing. Maintain your health. Don't be in a tension. So have like free, stable mind. Wherever you have done mistake, just rectify it. Okay, focus and strategize yourself. Plan your studies. So that must be smart studying irbeku, not the blind or hard study anta helodalla. You should have plan how to maintain the time, how to crack the question, ಯಾವ question first attend ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, question ನೋಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So that strategies you have to maintain. So anyway, so wishing you all the best for further examination, future coming NEET examination. Hope you will be doing well, and I'm once again wishing you all the best for your NEET examination. So do well, prepare well, and definitely you will be succeeded. So till then, we'll be meeting in the next session for discussion. Till then, take care, have a nice time.